Good morning, distinguished colleagues. My name is Dr. Prim Jaruthammasophon from Thailand. Today, I am honored to present our study on CGM-derived glucose phenotyping in Thai adults with central obesity using a machine learning approach. Metabolic disease continues to rise globally, yet many high-risk individuals remain undetected until diabetes is already established. One important reason is that metabolism is dynamic. However, conventional tools such as fasting blood sugar and hemoglobin A1C capture only a single moment in time. They function more like a photograph. A photograph is useful, but it cannot show how metabolism changes throughout the day. CGM, in contrast, functions more like a movie. It allows us to move beyond static numbers toward continuous metabolic patterns. Using 14-day CGM data, we aim to identify hidden metabolic phenotypes in centrally obese Thai adults. Building upon the foundational work of Hall and colleagues in 2018, we first introduced the glucotype framework in a Western non-diabetic population. Subsequent studies have meaningfully advanced CGM phenotyping in diabetes and metabolic research. At the same time, several important questions remain open for further investigation. In particular, three areas remain comparatively underexplored. First, glucotype classification had not been studied in centrally obese non-diabetic individuals, a group at particularly high metabolic risk. Second, Southeast Asian population were largely absent from the literature, despite important ethnic differences in body fat distribution, insulin secretion, and diabetes risk at lower BMI levels. And third, most previous studies rely on research-grade CGM systems, while the use of consumer-grade CGM devices for metabolic phenotyping was still uncertain. Our study was designed to address these three gaps. We conducted a cross-sectional study between October 2025 and January 2026. The study included 104 Thai adults with central obesity based on the International Diabetes Federation Asian criteria. All participants underwent 14-day continuous glucose monitoring using OTTI M8, a factory calibrated consumer-grade CGM device, to record glucose values every 5 minutes. Mean data completeness was very high at 99.6%. To identify hidden metabolic phenotypes, we applied unsupervised K-means scattering using 4 CGM-derived features: 10th above range percentage, 10th below range percentage, standard deviation of daily averages, and mean daily glucose range. The optimal number of clusters was determined using multiple validation methods. including silhouette analysis, Kalinski-Harabas, and Davis-Budin. Cluster stability was further validated using bootstrap resampling with 1,000 iterations and cross-validation with an alternative clustering method. The silhouette score was 0.375 with supportive results from the other clustering indexes. To test stability, we performed bootstrap analysis with 1,000 iterations. The mean adjusted rank index, or ARI, was 0.708, and about 74% of iterations show substantial agreement. We also compare our results with another clustering method, which show similar results. Overall, these findings suggest that the three glucotypes were stable and reproducible, not random patterns. Unsupervised clustering identified three distinct glucotypes. The first group was the postprandial spiker phenotype, comprising 26% of participants. This group showed the highest hyperglycemia burden with elevated time above range, while daily glucose excursion, and the highest hemoglobin A1C among the three groups. Importantly, prediabetes prevalence reached 33%, more than double the rate observed in the stable group. The second group was the stable glucose phenotype, which represented 62% of participants. This group demonstrated low time above range, low time below range, and relatively narrow glucose variability. This appeared to represent the metabolically stable phenotype. The third group was the most unexpected finding of our study. We identified a hypoglycemia-prone phenotype, indicated 12% of participants. This group showed markedly elevated time below range and the highest day-to-day glucose variability. 92% of participants in this group had highly unstable glucose patterns. And yet, based on conventional screening criteria, prediabetes prevalence in this group was 0. 0, despite having the highest glycemic variability in the cohort. One possible explanation is reactive hypoglycemia. This may be due to a strong insulin response after meals in people with high insulin sensitivity. Another possible explanation may be irregular meal timing or intermittent fasting. This should be studied further. Importantly, this phenotype is different from the spiker group. The main issue here is not high blood sugar. It is repeated low blood sugar and unstable glucose levels. This is important clinically. Recurrent hypoglycemia has been linked to cognitive problems, autonomic dysfunction, and possibly higher future diabetes risk through hormone regulation changes. These findings suggest that metabolic prevention should not be one-size-fits-all. Different glucotypes may require different intervention strategies. Overall, CGM-derived phenotyping may support a more personalized approach to prevention. Using conventional clinical variables alone, classification accuracy was 62.5%. When CGM features were added, accuracy increased to 91.4%. This was a 29% improvement in classification performance. Overall, CGM provides important metabolic information beyond conventional screening. In other words, CGM helps us move beyond numbers toward metabolic patterns. Our study has several limitations, including small sample size, female predominance, and cross-sectional design. Future studies should include larger multi-center cohorts across Southeast Asia with longer follow-up. Importantly, our analytical pipeline is automated, reproducible, and scalable, making it suitable for future prevention, health programs, and multi-center research. Southeast Asia carries a growing burden of metabolic disease, yet remains underrepresented in CGM phenotyping research. The methodology developed in this study, including consumer-grade CGM, automated feature extraction, and validated clustering, was designed to be practical, scalable, and reproducible across the region. We are actively seeking collaboration in 3 areas: multi-center validation, studies across Asian population, glucotype-guided lifestyle intervention trial, integration with metabolic screening, and diabetes prevention programs. We are also currently conducting ongoing research on CGM-guided lifestyle modification programs. If this framework aligns with your research interests, we welcome future collaboration to help advance precision prevention in metabolic health. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Kittipat Tawibkul for his mentorship and guidance throughout this work. I would also like to thank our research team and especially all 104 Thai participants who contributed their CGM data to this study. My mentor once asked a question that has stayed with me. When you look at your patients, do you see a number or do you see a patterns? In endocrinology, we have always known that metabolism is dynamic. What CGM and machine learning now allow us to do is to better understand those hidden metabolic patterns, from numbers to patterns, and from patterns to more personalized prevention. Thank you.